Hi everyone and happy Monday. It is planner day and we have a part of a picture for this week. This is a little bit of the page, pull-out page, the sort of fold-out page from World of Flowers, and it has a border around it. So we've got a little bit of the border here at the top and then we've got the main picture. What I thought I would do was start today with the border. We'll see how far we go, and but I quite like doing the border quite dark. I think that sort of sets it off. It's like if you imagine you've got a picture with a mount, often a dark mount can just sort of set off the picture. So that's my sort of thinking. So I'm going to start this and as I say, see how we go. So I'm going to come in closer and so we can still keep it all in shot. There we go. I've got my Castle Art Soft Touch pencils today, and going to start with the black, as I say, dark. This is just for this line here. Okay, so I'm just going to do this in a thick black. And you can always do this in a pen if you want a really dark defined line. Sorry, I'm probably shadowing and blocking. It's really rainy today, and it's very little light from the window. But hopefully you can see what I'm doing, so it doesn't matter too much. It's not really difficult either, just to block in this area of black. As I say, you could use pen. Now there are advantages in using pen. Firstly, you can get a nice thick deep black, but also it doesn't smudge once it's dry, because with the pencils, black can be quite smudgy and dirty. I don't actually find that Castle Arts are pretty good when that's concerned, but some other brands can really smudge. So often I might leave the black till last, just in case that happens. As I say, with these it's not too bad, so I'm just popping it in first. I just want to sort of see the impact of it really. Okay, there we go. Now I'm thinking let's do these flowers, and then that can help me choose the leaf colour. I like quite pretty colours, but oh, my pencils are a bit strange. They're all moving around. Oh, there we go. I want something dark. As I say, I want this to be the dark border, so I'm thinking a mulberry might be rather good. I'm just trying to find it. There it is. I like the mulberry. It's very pretty, but also dark. So, which is the idea really. Just now. I'm trying to decide whether to do it darker below, and I think I will. I think I do dark down here, and then lighter as we go up. Oh, I can hear a train. Just wondering if it's my boys. I think, let me see. No, the train they're catching won't have left the station at the other end yet. They went to the Freshers' Fair, Welcome Fair today, but I think they weren't very impressed, and it's really rainy today and horrible. I just don't think they really wanted to go. But, and it wasn't compulsory, but one boy needed his phone Wi-Fi sorting out because he couldn't connect to the university Wi-Fi. The other one got it sorted out at that campus where the thing was, so I thought it was just a good opportunity for them to go over and get his phone fixed. So they managed to get that done at least, but I think they'll come back quite grumpy. They have been grumpy, they're tired. I think having an hour commute each way at least is very draining, without the whole, you know, getting to know a new place and meeting new people. And they've actually had homework already and things like that. It's all, I know that they get like it, they did when they first started school, when they first started college, and I suspect I was probably the same. Now this is interesting. See these two here? These two have got like little seed lines, as if there's sort of stamen or whatever they're called coming out of them. How strange. I don't remember the original picture very well. I've only completed one copy of World of Flowers. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've only done 2 copies of Enchanted Forest, Secret Garden, Magical Jungle and Christmas. So no, I've only done one copy, so I've only done this picture once before, so no wonder I can't really remember. So let's do these. So it's not too difficult, just gently filling them in. That just doesn't want a colour. There we go. Now, where should we go from here? I think I want a slightly different colour in here. I don't want it to be all too samey. So I'm actually going to grab quite a dark pink. I'm just looking at what I've got. Purple. I'm going to use the purple. I think this is it, but I'm not entirely sure. That's the purple light. That isn't what I want. Purple lake, purple deep. There it is, purple. Gosh. Purple. I'm going to use a little bit on the ends of each of these where I faded it a bit, just to give it a little bit of brightening. I'm just going to sharpen. And then just fill it in, take it up a bit. It's quite subtle really, but I think it just adds another colour into the mix, which is nice. And it still keeps that dark look on the flowers. So it's the start of a new week, Monday. I hope everyone's looking forward to their week. Mondays can be a bit daunting, can't they? They're probably going to be my day off normally, a Monday, because both my boys are in all day on a Monday. And I feel like I need a day to myself where I can just do whatever I want. And, you know, once they're out and off, then, you know, that's that. I can do, husband be at work, I can do my own thing for a bit. Sometimes I just feel I need to be able to do that. Right, leaves. I feel like I want bluey greens for these to go with the purple and pink. So I'm going to start with the phthalo green. There it is. I'm going to do this leaf here to start with. It's not maybe as dark as the... I'm going to blank fill it in. I mean block fill it in. What am I saying? There we go. And I'm thinking I do all the leaves like this and then do the stems and the outside of this in a darker colour. So here we go. Just fade it a little bit, but still keep it so it looks quite dark. I mean, not mega dark. We'll get a darker shade, as I say, in a bit. Not sure what that is. I think I'm just gonna sort of fill it in. Can you hear the rain on the window? It's raining so hard. I went out, my boys went out to the station and they managed to get there just before it started raining, or they got a tiny bit wet, so that was good. And at the other end they didn't get too wet either, apparently. I, on the other hand, as they left, I realised it wasn't raining, so I thought, right, this is my opportunity. I had to go shopping, get lunchboxy items, you know. So I thought, right, this is my opportunity. So I left and I got to the supermarket. It's only about a 10-minute walk. And it was complete, it hadn't rained. I was like, whee, I timed it just right. So did my shop at the till, could see through the windows at the end, you know, they have the big windows at the end of the supermarket. Umbrellas up, windscreen wipers going in the car park. I was like, it's raining. Oh well, it won't be bad, you know. It's only just started. So I left and it rained very hard. By the time I got home, because I was wearing a plastic Mac, which a raincoat, which the rain runs down, so it comes to my mid-thigh. So the bit above my knees was absolutely sopping wet by the time I got in. My jeans were wet right through, my legs were wet, my hands were wet and cold. I was like, it feels, I mean, it isn't that cold today. It's only early autumn. It's not really that. I'm just going to leave that bit for now. It's not really that cold, but my goodness, got very wet. So I thought, oh well, I'm okay. Get in, hang my jeans over the shower to dry out, and because all my radiators are full of washing, and when the radiators aren't on anyway because it's not that hot, cold. Excuse me. And I'm just trying to see what I was doing. Yeah. And I yeah, absolutely soaked. Shoes under the radiator again. Radiator's not on. Luckily my shoes are really waterproof, so my feet weren't wet at all. My socks were dry, but the bottoms of my jeans were absolutely soaked, and had I been wearing longer socks, my socks would have got wet, but instead my legs got wet. My hair was, I did put my hat up, and I've realised that I can I think I'll do that bit like that. I realised that I can pull something around my hat and keep it around my keep it tight. I'm going to use the Veridian to save my hair getting too wet, which was good. I don't like wearing a hat normally, or always care if my hair is wet, but I didn't want to drip everywhere, so yeah, sorry, I was just distracted then. This is the Veridian. I'm going to use it for the dark bits. Yeah, my son just sent me a message. They've missed the train, so they're getting one in almost an hour's time, which is a shame. Because he said he was sitting and waiting for the train, which I thought meant that he was, I don't know. Anyway, I was confused. But maybe he means they're sitting at university waiting for the right time to leave to get the train. I don't know. Anyway, it gives me a little bit more time on my own to get a few more videos done before they get in, I guess. And hopefully it means they won't get too wet if the weather's supposed to get better through the day. So we'll see. So I think this darker looks quite nice. There we go. But I'm thinking about the background as well. Now, the background of this one is obviously sky, so I will do it blue, probably, but with a pastel. I might use a cloud template or something, I might not. I'll have a think later once I've done the rest of the page. I'm not going to worry now. This top bit, I'm thinking maybe I do need to do this in a similar colour but darker. So I'm wondering whether to do it in a sort of thicker layer of, oops, that bit's tricky. There we go. A thicker layer of darker blue maybe? Just having a little think. If I do it, I don't want it to get lost because it's got bluey green. It might just sort of disappear it all. The Delft blue is really pretty. Quite tempting to use that. Maybe. And keep on thinking as I colour. I can hear some very odd noises. Can't tell if it's a child or a dog. It's like a little crying, screeching noise. Okay, so I'm going to do these leaf bits in this Veridian. Sorry, it's going blurred. And I know I've got to decide on what I'm doing with that one. and this one looks like it's one of the same. If you want to be sure, you can look at the original picture. Even if you don't have the book, you can watch a YouTube clip through and you'll be able to see it. If you want to, I've got one actually. Of course I have, I've got everything. 1,000 videos or more. Right. Trying to think of this. I'm wondering whether to could do it in red, or we could keep to the cold colours. I know, let's use the alizarin crimson because it's a very pinky red. Just got to find it first. Sorry. There it is. Okay, I'll give it a sharpen, and then I will. It's quite a small dot is needed, really, isn't it? And I'll just work my way across, doing each of the little dots. I feel like I don't want to limit the colours too much here, because then it limits me on this bit down here, you see. So if I add in a red as well as the blue, which I'm going to do for the background, then I think it will just, yeah, mean that I can do a little bit more. So there is that. Now what I'm going to do next is the background of this in the Delft blue. I'm just going to find it. It's good to find it first. Yeah, here it is. But I'm going to stop the camera and do it off camera because it's just going to be quite thick dark colouring. Now I think if I'm on camera and I'm talking, I'm going to be tempted to rush it. I'm going to turn off the camera and do it quite a lot of layers to get it quite thick and border like. So I'll be back with it done. So you can pause here and do it yourself, play on and see what happens, or whatever you want, but I shall be back. Right, as you can see, it really is quite a dark looking border. The green stands out a little bit, but it's quite dark, and that is what I wanted. If you feel it's too dark for you, then you can try something different, but that's how I wanted it. We're going to move on now though and do our little house. It's rather cute, isn't it? I'm not going to zoom out a bit though, because I'm going to start with the door, and actually it's quite nice to come in close, isn't it? Now I've done a door video before where I've done like brown plain wood, so I thought we'd do something a little bit different with this one. I quite fancied doing it in a blue, but obviously we're going to have blue sky, as I said. We've also got the dark blue at the top, so I thought I would do it more of a turquoisey blue, so it was a little bit different. I'm just looking at what I've got here actually. We have the cobalt turquoise, which might be where I start, if I can find it. Here it is. And I might just start with a layer of that and then work from there really. I'm going to sort of incorporate the door frame and the window frame into the same sort of colour scheme. So I'm just going to put a layer of this all over. So really quite simple to start with. Well, apart from trying not to actually get it on the glass. Which could be a challenge for me. Try and do that bit a little bit more slowly. I can hear a train. I did have a chat with my son while I was colouring too. Just going to miss out the door handle for now. Yeah, they hadn't managed to get the train. They said they were sitting and waiting for a train, and I assumed they were at the station, but they weren't. So they're probably just left now and are going to get one. Right, so I've done that fairly evenly, but not really. I'm not too worried because it's going to all change and you'll see. I'm going to use the teal green light next, if I can find it. I'm just looking. There it is. No, that's the phthalo green light. I don't know whether it's going to be in my greens. Oh, perhaps I should have planned this before. I found the teal green. There it is, teal green light. This is a little bit more bluey, greeny, I mean, even though, and it isn't so light as it implies, as you'll see when I start to apply it. I'm going to use it along the edge here because I feel that the door would be slightly set in from the frame, so you'd have a shadow. I might overdo that, overgo it's not the right word. I'm trying to think, I don't know what I mean. Go over the shadow again with a grey or something later if it needs some help. At the moment we'll just, oops, we'll draw some wobbly shadows on there like that. What I also want to do is sort of emphasise these lines on the door. I'm doing it rough. It takes a bit of confidence to do things as rough, but I think it does make a difference and makes it look a bit more rustic, old, that sort of thing. And I'm going to do some on here as well. Just some lines as if they're sort of wood, really. Now I definitely want a more greeny colour. I thought that was going to be quite green, but it really isn't. It's very blue. Should I use, yeah, I'm going to use the mint green to do a little bit on it. I don't know how much it's going to show up. It might be a mistake. We'll see how it goes. I will just sharpen it. Oh, here we go, mint green, and put some lines in. I just wanted to look a bit more greeny, green and bluey. I sort of wanted a sort of turquoise look. I think it's quite pretty having the blue and green together. A bit on here as well. I'm trying to do it like there's wood grain. And there we go. It's a little bit more greeny. Might not be that easy for you to see, to be honest. I want something dark. I could go for the phthalo. We've used that at the top. Let's go for the phthalo green light, so it's slightly lighter. I need to sharpen again though. And then I'm going to be a little bit more cautious with this one though. So phthalo green light. Actually try and cover up where there's sort of white paper or paler paper showing. There we go. I'm wondering what to do at this very pale window. I think I'm actually going to pick up the cobalt turquoise again and actually just go over it in a thicker layer. There we go. I'm not talking, it's hard work a little bit. And I'm going to do the window above in it too. There we go. Just the frame, not the sill. I'm now pondering what on earth colour can I do for the house that's going to tie this all together and not be too similar. I've got an idea, fortunately. So there's that one. Now what you could do, I think I will, I'm just going to check, yeah, is go around the very edge of the windows, almost on top of the black lines, but on the inside, and you can make it look slightly more three-dimensional by just going around the slightly darker colour. You need to stick as closely to the black line as you can. It's not easy, particularly on this very small picture, hence the fact that I'm barely breathing. But I think it just makes the frame look a little better. If you can compare that one to that one, I think this one looks flatter. You might not think it's worth the effort, it's totally your call. So, same on this one. Do around each little one, and then the edge. Like that. Okay. Now, making a lot of noise. Okay, I'm going to come out now and do a bit more of the house. Get it all in frame. There we go. So for the main building part, I thought I would do a pink. I think pink will work with this. I'm just having a look at the pinks that are available. I don't want a peachy pink, a more orangey. I want a red. Oh, excuse me, a more red pink. So I'm going to go for the Bengal rose. I think that is going to work really nicely. And I'm just actually going to put a light layer all over this bit. Avoiding all the bits and bobs, which we'll colour in after, once we've worked out whether they're stems. I don't think they are, and I'll have to decide whether they're going to be in green like their sort of stems, or whether they'll just be in pink to sort of match the wall. Let's have a ponder while we colour. Well, if we want them pink, they'd have to be quite dark so that they sort of stand out. They definitely look like they're leaves or vines, so maybe they should be green. I mean, obviously we're in a fantasy place, so leaves don't have to be green. I'm going to colour this the same. I will put some shadowing and things in after so that it doesn't look so samey. Yes, so I think we'll do it in a green, and then I have to decide, do I do it in one of the greens I've used already for the door? I think it would sort of make sense, but would it match? Ponder, ponder, lots of questions to myself as I colour. I don't know whether you do that when you colour as well, or whether you just ponder first and then colour. I like to just get on. So what I tend to do with a picture is, when I see something I know what colour I want it to be, say I want all my leaves green perhaps, don't always, but let's say, then I'll just get on with those, and then the other bits fill themselves in, if you know what I mean, because I'm like, I can think of them while I'm colouring the rest, or it just sort of comes to me as I colour what will work. So that's how I work, rather than, I know some people sort of plan everything out first. I can't do that. Firstly, I would never remember. I'd have to write it down. I think it would be a bit cumbersome. Secondly, I can't visualise, so I can't imagine what it would look like when something's a certain colour, so I can't work out whether it's going to work anyway. So I need to actually get the colour down to try it, and of course that can risk disaster, but more often than not, it is not a disaster. I have had disasters, I'm sure we all have. I bet there's no colourist or artist that hasn't, but normally I can get it to work because I've been practicing a long time. I know what's going to work and what's not going to work, you know, reasonably well. So that's useful for me. And I know, you know, someone who's new is going to find it harder, and that is absolutely fine and fair. And you know, that's why people follow tutorials, so they can pick up hints and tips and then build their confidence to perhaps do a few things on their own, or just keep coming back for more help. Either way, you know, I like it if you come back for more, definitely. Now I'm going to pick a green for the vines. We used the light phthalo green. I think that might work the best. Oh, I'm cold. I'm suddenly feeling a bit shivery. Got very wet earlier, but I'm sure it's nothing to do with that really. It's probably just getting cooler out. It's very rainy and dull. There's no sun. There's no heating on in the house. I haven't got any slippers on or anything, so I probably need to go and get some slippers and a jumper. That I will do soon. It's so funny, my dad, He is in his late 70s and he refuses to wear slippers because they make him look old. And yet I've worn slippers since I was a child, as have my sister. My mum wears slippers all the time. She has since I was a child. I suspect she always has. I don't know for sure. I've never really asked her. But you know, and it's just, he has a few funny ideas, and my gran did too. She wouldn't use the stick because she thought it would make her look old. She was in her 90s when she passed away, and she still wouldn't use the stick because she didn't want to look old. And it's like, but you are old, Gran. Oh. But anyway, I guess it might have been more about making them feel old, and that's very different to worrying about how you look, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we've got our walls, and we've got our vines and our door and our window, and we've got a roof to do. Now I'm thinking. I think the door ended up being very green, so I'm wondering whether we need to put a bit more blue bias into the roof. And I'm thinking I really want to stick with maybe the same palette that we've got already. So I'm looking, we used the cobalt turquoise and the teal green light. I think I used the teal green light for the large roof areas. What I'm going to do is maybe fade it off towards the centre a little bit. This is very flat. I'm just going to give it a sharpen. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, teal green light. Sorry, I'd already showed it to you before I sharpened it, hadn't I? So I'm thinking maybe I'll fade it a bit towards the centre. And then I'm not sure really whether that's the right thing to do or not. That's what I'm pondering. While I'm going quiet, I'm thinking, does it need to, I think it needs to, I mean, I haven't faded that, I think it's flat. So maybe it should just be flat, but I'm sort of doing it in a round and round movement because I'm thinking, is it like a straw roof? Because it's a very old shape. Or is it a mushroom? An ornately coloured mushroom? Or just a roof? I don't know. So one of my sons just messaged me asking me when the next train was, and then said he's got it. And the other one just told me it's raining a bit. So I'm gathering that they didn't actually go to the station together. Problem is, one of them walks really fast and one of them doesn't. And the one who walks fast got no patience. He said, I have to walk past because I'm anxious about getting anywhere on time, so I have to be quick. And the other one is like, I can't walk that fast because it hurts my feet. And the other one's like, well, it hurts my feet too. I just push myself and I just do it anyway. So, But the one does walk way too fast for me. And the other one walks too slow for me. But I'm happy to walk slow with the one. But the other, because his legs are so long. His legs come to my hip. He's a little bit taller than me sitting down, but not much. But he is 5 foot taller than me, and most of that is in his legs. And I think I'm just proportion right. His legs are just stupidly long. He would admit it too. It means when he sits down at on a train or a bus, he can't get his legs in behind the seat in front. You know, it's very uncomfortable for him. But anyway, he has to cope. I'm wondering now whether a blue sky is going to be a good idea. I'm just putting blue here. But I'm going to wait until the end and see. I can do pink, I can do yellow. There's all sorts of options. Okay, so these other bits of decoration, we're going to use some of the colours that we've used already. I don't want too much of the pink because we've got a lot of pink going on there. So I have got the pink now, and I'm just going to do these sort of stripes in the pink. So we've got a touch of it, but not too much, because we've got enough. In my opinion, it's a bit too pink. You know, I'm not a big fan of pink. I'm thinking it's a bit ick. Sorry to anyone who's really liking it. Ugh. Right, mint green. Sorry, getting all giggly. A bit hysterical. Stressed. I am so stressed at the moment with the boys getting first time getting trains on their own this week, panicking that they might miss them. I am, they're not. Ugh. Ugh. This is the cobalt turquoise. I know I need to let go, let them do it on their own. Everyone keeps telling me, just let them do it. They can make mistakes themselves. Don't worry. It's so easy. You can't just tell someone not to worry. You know, it's just, you can't. It doesn't work like that. I'm just doing these quite plain colouring. We're going to, at the end, bring in a darker colour and just do a little bit of shadowing. Shadows in a few places. Now, what should we do last? Should we do the I can't speak. Phthalo green light. Let's do that. Just checking my messages again. See, I'm just so on edge. The train's due in 5 minutes, so hopefully. Sometimes I just wish I could drive. I can drive, but I don't drive. I just wish I had I was brave enough to get a car and I could just go and scoop them up, you know. But I'm too nervous when I'm driving. Right, I need something for shadow. Cool grey deep, I think, would be the best. I need sharpening. Oh, my sharpener is holding my pencils. Well, they were leaning against it. Right. Cool grey deep. So I'm thinking under here first of all. Whoops. It doesn't want to write. Come on, pencil. There we go. Sorry, concentration. Non-talking concentration. Now, I had promised that next week we'd finish the house page, but I've got Rita Berman's free download to do, so it's very likely that I'll be doing that instead. So we may just be delaying the other page a bit. Oh, let's not move that too much. Oh, just noticed this. Okay. So yeah, I'll probably be doing Rita's page instead. And I have had a lot of people asking me when I'm going to be doing 2 videos a day, but while I'm stressing about the boys, there's no way, I'm afraid, that I can do 2. And also, I've done door handle. Also, you can see how distracted I am today as it is doing this. I think that's enough shadow. I'm quite happy with that, but I am going to do this. I'm thinking, I quite like the idea of the cobalt turquoise for the stem. And then the slightly darker teal green light for the gills. Yeah, as I said, you can see how distracted I am. Anyway, I'm trying to hold it together. It's so difficult. Phthalo green light, so it's just, yeah, it's just a tricky time. And we're having a balcony replaced on the back of our house by the end of the month. Apparently, work's going to start. I've got no idea how long it's going to take, but I know that it's going to be noisy, so it's going to limit the amount of time I have for making videos. And I'm going to do the spots in pink, in the Bengal rose. As icky as I think it is, I think it will just tie it together. Yeah, so I don't know how long that's going to last. I haven't heard from them yet. I'm going to do the door handle in this colour too. I'm going to do it quite dark. There we go. So yeah, so I don't know. I've just got to wait and see really. The last cool grey deep is I'm going to do the windows, and I'm just going to do them like this, as if the light's just shining off them. If you'd rather, you could make it look like the light's on inside and make them yellow, but I won't do it like that. Now let's come out so you can see the whole thing. So now you've got the border and the house, you can see how it's coming together. This is going to be it for today. I've done rather a lot, I think. Tomorrow I'll come back and do another bit. I don't know whether how long it's going to take, to be honest. I've got no idea, but yeah, be back tomorrow to do some more, which will be fun. But I'm going to go away, have a coffee, have a breather, make sure my boys are on the train, and then before I think about doing any more recording. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day, and happy colouring.